Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Micah hanging out here inside the Secret Studio on this wondrous, awesome Monday. You know, what makes it even more wondrous and more awesome is I have my buddy Maya here. Maya, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, now, Maya, what makes this wondrous, awesome Monday even better?
Blair Underwood is calling in.
Blair Underwood, how are you doing?
I'm doing wondrously and awesomely, I guess. I like that. A wondrous and awesome Monday.
Perfect. Well, that is fantastic. All right, Maya, take it away.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say what an honor it is to be talking to you right now. And I've been a fan of yours for so long, so I'm still in disbelief that this is actually happening right now. So
Well, Maya, let me tell you this. It is my absolute honor. And I heard about you and I heard about all the interviews you've been doing, I think over 100 interviews. And I was honored that you invited me onto your show. And I'm excited to be here to talk with you.
thank you. Yeah, so my first question for you is who or what inspired you to start acting?
Wow. So the person who inspired me to start acting from afar, from a distance, was an actor named Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier came up in the 1960s. I think in 1961, I believe it was, he was the #1 box office draw in the world. He's an African-American actor. He was the first Black actor to win the Academy Award for Best Lead Actor. And he's iconic. So, you know, when I was a kid, he was one of those actors you'd see on TV, and he just made you feel taller and prouder because of the way he represented himself and his race and his culture. So that meant a lot to me as a kid. And I thought I'd like to be an actor, #1, but I'd like to kind of follow in those shoes in terms of respect and integrity and honorable type of roles. And I try to do that starting off in my career. I've been around 30, I think it's my 34th or 35th year in the business. So I played a lot of those roles early on, and then I got fascinated by playing a lot of the bad guys because that they seemed to be more fun playing or juicier roles at the time.
Cool. So you played Mr. Harris in The New Adventures of Old Christine, and that is one of my all-time favorite shows, and it makes me laugh every time I watch it. And one of my favorite episodes is the one where everybody wants pictures of you for their screensaver.
Yep.
And I was wondering what was the best part of playing Mr. Harris and being on that show?
Oh, wow, Maya. The best part of being on The New Adventures of Old Christine was to work with the entire cast, but especially Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who played Christine, the lead. And some of you may know her from Friends from back in the day, but after The New Adventures of Old Christine, she did a show called Veep about the vice president. And I'm sorry, Seinfeld. Seinfeld was on Seinfeld. But yeah, so what was fun also for that was I had not done a lot of what they call sitcoms, situation comedies, which are usually in front of a live audience. There are usually 4 different cameras. Most of the work I'd done prior to that are 1-hour dramas. So I hadn't done a lot of comedy or lighthearted work. So it was a lot of fun to do that and to play opposite someone like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who is a master at comedic timing and doing comedy I had fun. I was kind of nervous because I hadn't done a lot of it, and because of that, I wasn't sure if I was just in the pocket, if I was doing it right. But she really put me at ease. And Wanda Sykes was also in it. You interviewed Wanda Sykes, I heard, right? Yeah. So she was fun to work with also.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I watch that show almost like every day, basically.
What?
So,
Oh, I love that.
so yeah, and it just makes me laugh till I'm crying. So,
Well, I tell you, we need that now more than ever. A lot of laughter and fun and joy.
Yeah. So you were in the Netflix miniseries Self-Made and When They See Us. What is the biggest challenge of playing real life characters?
The biggest challenge can be how familiar that person is to the public. Because if that person is very familiar, then you have to really find a way to imitate that person or give a certain type of uh, semblance of that person's nuance and speech patterns and maybe the way he walks. So that's the most challenging. In both cases, for those two projects you mentioned, when they see us, I played an attorney who wasn't well known, but I did have news footage of him, and I tried to kind of assimilate my speaking patterns. He had a little New York isms to the way he spoke. I wore the same kind of mustache, but very few people knew what he really looked like at this day and age. So I wasn't confined to those rules of the game. And the other one, Self-Made, about the story of Madam C.J. Walker, and I played C.J. Walker, who was the husband of Madam C.J. Walker, who was the first female millionaire of any race or creed in the United States. And we couldn't even find a picture of C.J. Walker. There's a lot of documentation about what he may have looked like and what he was like, his personality and his behavioral patterns. But in terms of what he looked like, I had no idea. So in both of those situations, I had the freedom to really create anything, and nobody's going to hold me to it.
Oh, cool.
Somebody talked to me the other day about a project where I could possibly play Barack Obama. And I was like, whoa. I don't look like Barack Obama. And that's a whole other thing, because he's so recognizable to everybody. Anybody in the world right now knows what he looks like and sounds like. So that's a different kind of challenge.
Yeah. So you've been in so many different projects. Have you had a favorite project or character that you've played?
Ooh. That's a great question. C.J. Walker was one of my favorites, the Madam C.J. Walker story, Self-Made, partially because I tend to like period pieces. That was set in the 1920s or early 1910s. So, you do period pieces. Like I just watched Wonder Woman. Have you seen Wonder Woman yet? 1984?
Not yet. We were going to watch it the other day, and I don't remember what happened.
Okay.
But we're going to watch it soon. So
yeah, it's fun, and that reminded me just how much I love period pieces, because you have to change. You have different cars, you have different clothes, different wardrobe, and different everything, and the props you're using, the phones, cars, everything. So I tend to like that, because it goes back to why I wanted to become an actor in the first place, which was to really immerse myself into different worlds and into different characters and people. So that's one of my favorites. The other ones are a couple of characters on stage that I love very much. Othello, which is of course Shakespeare's Othello, was probably one of the most challenging and exciting roles I've ever played.
Oh, cool. So you're up for a Tony Award for your role in the revival of A Soldier's Play.
Yes.
First of all, congratulations. And what is the best part of being in front of a live audience?
Oh, the best part, Maya, is what we're doing right now. You and I were talking, we're having a conversation. We have a give and take. You say something to me, I say something back. I'm reading your energy and your level and all of that. That if you get really excited, I get excited. If I maybe whisper, you're going to maybe lean in. So there's a give and take. There's a synchronicity that happens with a live audience that you don't get when you do camera work. So that's my favorite part of working in front of an audience. Also, the fact that you have the privilege and the opportunity to play a character from beginning to end. So you're starting that journey and you finish that journey in an hour and a half or 2 hours later. But to just feel it and take the ride alongside the audience or with the audience is the joy of live theater. You do film and television, it's a lot of stopping and starting. It's a lot of out of continuity, and it's not in sequence. The scenes are not a sequence. So it's a very different type of rhythm of work. But that's what I love about the theater, is the sense of continuity and the repartee and the sharing of the energy of between the person on stage and the live audience.
Oh, cool. Will the play continue when Broadway reopens?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. We actually were supposed to close March 15th and Broadway shut down March 12th. So we are all incredibly grateful that we had a chance to really pretty much do our run, except for the last couple of days. There is talk of taking the show on tour. I don't know if I'll be able to do the tour because of other scheduling conflicts, but I hope it continues because it's a phenomenal play, and it's called A Soldier's Play, and that's taken from the original production in the 1980s, early 1980s in New York City, produced by a company called the NEC, the Negro Ensemble Company, and it went on to do a movie called A Soldier's Story with Denzel Washington is in it, and it was just a great film. But it had never been on Broadway prior to this, so this was the first time. So to be a part of this production was just amazing and incredible. So I hope it does continue. I hope it does go on tour. I hope people will come see it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. What is your favorite Broadway play?
That I've done, or just in general?
Either.
I will tell you, I think one of my favorites it's a musical, Wicked. Wicked, because listen, I grew up as most of us did, any generation you can pick since the 1930s, watching The Wizard of Oz, and I love The Wizard of Oz, and of course Wicked being the prequel to The Wizard of Oz. You come to that journey, you come to that production already with a wealth of knowledge because these characters from The Wizard of Oz, and this is just another part of that evolution or that trajectory of these characters. So I just found it brilliantly done. The storytelling, the performers, the music was just incredible. So that's one of my favorites. And of course, probably my all-time favorite would be Hamilton, as I'm sure it's a lot of people's all-time favorite.
Yeah. I love Hamilton. I am obsessed with Broadway. I have a Broadway sign up there.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, my mom got me that for my birthday, and I have a bunch of Broadway playlists that I drive my sister crazy with listening to all the time.
You may have answered the question. What is your favorite Broadway play? Is it Hamilton?
I do love Hamilton. I think my favorite, though, would have to be Spring Awakening.
Now, did you see the one, it's about 7 or 8 years ago with Marlee Matlin and Cameron Manheim?
No.
Okay. That was a lot of, I don't know if they're, sign language. They used a lot of sign language. I don't know if you saw that one, but it was pretty incredible.
Oh, cool. Yeah, my sister is learning sign language right now, so she's teaching it to me too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great thing to know, just to share that language.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned a little bit a couple years ago from watching the show Switched at Birth, because they had a lot of deaf actors in that show, and they used a lot of sign language.
Right.
So.
Wow. No, it's amazing. I did a show called Quantico about 3 years ago for 2 seasons on ABC, and Marlee Matlin was in it as well. And our characters were old friends within the show. So a lot of our conversations were, we used sign language. So I had a chance to really learn it and just kind of immerse myself in that new skill set. Because I played a character years ago where I did a little sign language, but I've always been fascinated by that other way of communication.
Cool. Yeah. So what is your, sorry, I already asked that question. I lost my spot.
That's all right.
Okay, so you've won a Grammy, an Emmy, and 5 NAACP Image Awards. How do you celebrate such amazing accomplishments?
How do I celebrate it? I usually celebrate it in that moment, that particular evening when it's awarded, and then I bring it home and put it on the shelf and have a spirit of gratitude about it, and just keep on moving. You know, the thing is, as an artist, you know, it's never a good idea to do the work in pursuit of awards. You know, it can be a tricky thing, and it's something I've never tried to do. You know, the focus is just do the work, and if something comes around and they honor you and see that the work is worthy, then that's very exciting. I mean, this Tony nomination, I was incredibly over the moon about that nomination. You know, but you can't take the job because you want a Tony Award. You can't take the job and expect it, because if it doesn't happen, then you're disappointed. If you focus on the work, then when it does come your way, the way I celebrate it is enjoy it and like I said, embrace it with the spirit of gratitude and keep on moving, keep on focusing on the next job and the next work.
Cool. So you're involved with many different charities, and I know that you won a humanitarian award for your work with the LA Muscular Dystrophy Association. Why is it important to you to do charitable work, and what draws you to a cause?
Such a great question. What draws me to that type of work is the fact that there's need. And I believe if you're in a position to either shine a light on, bring focus to, or help someone or many others in need, then it's important, I believe, to do so. It's the way we were raised. I have an older brother and two younger sisters, and it's a very biblical tenet, and that is, to whom much is given, much is required and or expected. I live by that. I believe that. So that's what draws me to that type of work. It's just giving back or paying it forward, however we want to look at it. But you realize, certainly in this industry, in show business, but truly in life, very few things are accomplished by one person. Very seldom do you do something solely on your own. You know, it's funny, we're talking about self-made. That term, self-made, very few people are really self-made. There's usually a collaborative effort. There's a communal effort. There are people who invest in you, who believe in you. So we all need someone. We all need other people. And we need people to believe in us. So you know, when I was in my early teens, you're 17, right, Maya?
18.
18, you're 18 now. So I was, I think, 21 when I moved to New York. And, you know, in this business, especially wanting to be an actor, you know, a lot of people want to be actors, and a lot of people we're all knocking on doors trying to get that job and try to get your foot in the door and try to get that big break. And it takes people to look at you and say, I see something in that kid. I'm going to hire that kid. And then somebody else will say, I'm going to hire that kid for something else. I'm going to hire that kid again. So it takes time to get your foot in the door, and then to leverage that from one job to the next, and hopefully ultimately build a career. So just taking that personal journey myself, I know the importance and the weight and the gravity of having people who believe in you. So I just find, if you're in a position where you can lift others up, believe in them so they can realize their dreams, then, you know, it makes the world a better place. That may sound like a bumper sticker, but it really isn't. And I think things that a lot of us thought were bumper stickers before, I think in this year of 2020, you realize what's really important, and the sense of helping each other and being there for other people and community is more important now, I think, than ever before, or at least it's realized now more than before.
Yeah. So is there a show that you're currently binge watching?
I am. I just finished binge watching Bridgerton.
Oh,
Have you heard about that?
Yeah, that's on our list to watch.
Okay. It's very risque. I should say that, especially if this is a PG-13 audience. It's very risque. So some parents, I should maybe not endorse that. But that's the last one. I just finished watching that last night. I'm watching a few documentaries. I watched a documentary last night on the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees was a very famous group in the 1970s. They did a lot of music, and they were dubbed as doing a lot of disco, although they did more than disco, because there's a big movie in the 70s called Saturday Night Fever starring John Travolta. And they wrote the soundtrack, but they were huge. Anyway, it was a fascinating documentary. That, and I watched the documentary last night on Motown, which is the record company that Berry Gordy started in Detroit, Michigan in the 60s.
Oh, cool. So what personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble?
Seriously? Let me see. Personality trait. Probably, is this personality trait? Lack of patience. Lack of patience. That's it's a personality thing. It can be a personality flaw, I guess, but that's something I'm always working on. It's been a plus and a negative. The plus is it's been my drive my whole life, not having patience, making things happen, going for the best. But also sometimes there are things that you just have to wait on. You just have to be patient about, especially when you're relying on other people. You have to be patient. And sometimes people, as you get older and hopefully wiser, you allow people room and space to do things, whatever it may be, but develop and evolve at their own pace. So that's something that I've had to learn along the way.
Yeah. So if you could have any song playing to announce your entrance into a room, what song would it be?
Ooh. You have one for yourself?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh man, I don't know. Ooh. I might have to come back to that one, Maya. I'm not sure.
Okay. So what terrible movie do you secretly love?
You got some great questions here. Let's see, what terrible movie do I secretly love? I won't say that. Oh wow. I don't. Maya, if they're terrible movies, I'm not usually loving them too much. So I can't say they're terrible and I love them. It's kind of like an oxymoron. Can't put the two together.
My family and I do have a couple movies we don't think are terrible, but other people think are terrible, and they are some of our favorite movies. So
I'm sorry, I do have one. Those Sharknado movies.
Oh.
You've seen those Sharknado, these with the flying sharks and all that. So that it's not great cinema, but it's fun. It's campy and it's cheesy, so it's fun to watch.
Cool. Yeah. We love this movie called Ishtar, and then best movie ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's listed as one of the worst movies ever, but
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, that it's one of the best movies ever because it's so funny. And then there's another movie that I don't think is terrible, but I think there are some people that don't like it. It's a comedy, and it's called Hamlet 2, and
I've never seen that.
I never saw it either, but it was over quarantine. We found it and watched it, and we were just crying from laughter. So,
you make me want to go see Ishtar now because it was known as that. I remember when it first came out, and it just it didn't make any money at the box office, so people just kind of panned it. But you never know. It's not fair. I've never seen the movie because people panned it, and it may very well be a good movie. I don't know. Or if nothing else, it's good. What is good? If it's entertaining, it makes you laugh, maybe that's good.
Yeah. Yes, it's so funny. So before I ask you my last question, I was thinking about going back to the song question.
Song. Oh man, let me think about that. I don't know. You can give me some options. I don't know any songs that I want as my theme song.
I love all of Ben Platt's music. He's one of my favorite singers. So I think his music is like the part of the soundtrack to my life. And I think I would put his song Rain at the top of the list.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, I got one. I like Michael Jackson's song "Got to Be There." Got to be there. I won't do that to you. But yeah, but it's about, I think as a boy being there for a girl, but I mean just being there for friends, showing up, being present for someone when they need you.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
The first person who comes to mind right about now is probably Dr. Fauci in terms of a real life superhero. Never met the man, but I mean, in terms of his sense of knowledge and brilliance and his sense of authenticity and seemingly altruism. I mean, very honest. And we're in a time where we just need the real deal. We don't need it, sugar coated or being lied to. Just what is happening, in terms of in terms of health or our health as a society, our health individually. How do we navigate through this time? So you really appreciate someone like a Dr. Fauci who didn't just show up on the scene. He's been doing this for the last 40 years with a number of different presidents. So he's probably the first person that comes to mind in terms of a superhero right now in this moment. I'd say Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I had the best time talking to you. I still can't believe this is happening.
Oh, you're very sweet, Maya. Thank you. I had a ball too, and you really asked some great questions. You stumped me for a couple of times, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Wish you all the best.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Blair. Really appreciate it.
All right, you got it, Micah. Take care.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Happy holidays.